the kind of investigations we have here. So when police tell you we are still investigating because of what we had seen, the antecedent, it's a way of saying, just forget about this matter for now.
In all
and
cases,
so, from if you are investigating a report had been submitted. A report had been submitted, and some people had been indicted in that report. And then we made so much noise about, you know, the report, and then somebody saying, look, I bribed members of the report, or that I set up a sting operation, you know, that the members of the committee had compromised. And then on the basis of that, you say, no, we can no longer act on this report. And now,
sorry,
mind you, in Farouk Lawa and Femi Otedola's case, while all this were going on, Femi Otedola escorted Mr. President to United Nations Summit.
He shouldn't have done that. Was he indicted by law?
No, a man, if in other crime, when they say a man is under a government of a businessman that had dealings with government officials is under investigation, the primary thing to do is for that man to step down from his membership of the economic team, and also the government of the day would at least keep a distance to show that truly they want to be fair in all their dealings. But when you see that same person that is being investigated by the authority, hobnobbing with the same authority, what outcome would you expect?
Shed some more light on this, because when we in Nigeria here, we hear people say certain matter has been swept under the carpet. We just want to know, since you're a lawyer, and I say again, you're familiar with investigation and prosecution, the way it works out, is it at every stage of investigation it must be in public domain? What is the ideal thing? Give us the benefit of precedence.
Do you know what we expect ordinarily? Don't even tell us that you're investigating. Don't let the man know that you're investigating him. Investigate, and then the only thing we expect to hear is this person is being prosecuted for so and so and so. At that time, police would have concluded, or the security agency would have concluded all their investigation. Do you ever hear the SSS is investigating somebody?
But at the end of the day, they come up with results.
At the end of the day, they come up with results and hand over to prosecuting agency.
So,
and then the prosecuting agency now, like we know in Nigeria, would now begin to play hide and seek with the prosecution in some cases. And so that's why you find out that in Ribadu's report also, where you have, this is the crude, and then you have a middleman team, politicians, and their foreign technical partner, who are the buyers. And then you have the last stage, the refinery. And these buyers will buy from NNPC or get allocation. Let me paint the clear picture so that Nigerians will understand. You get allocation paper. And that allocation paper, let's say you get it for $20 million. You wouldn't have to pay anything. You've been allocated some barrels. You now take that paper, you sell it to a refinery at $40 million. And so, for doing nothing, you make $20 million to yourself. And you now become a super rich man overnight. And then maybe after some time, you can afford a tank farm and all of that.
Albeit hypothetical, right?
Yes. And now, if you sell directly to the refineries, at say $35 million, you would have made $15 million extra for the benefit of the entire Nigerians. But government would rather not do that. Rather, they will set up super billionaires, super power. So these people will in turn finance elections during the election year. And so that's the pattern here. And that's what the Ribadu report had also exposed. And that's why these people will work so hard to ensure that they discredit and condemn that report so that it will go the way of others. Because if you decide to implement, you will send a lot of these so-called big men out of the market. And that's what we are seeing here. And that's why I tell you consistently that in spite of, there's no report in Nigeria that had always been 100% correct.
Okay, let me even take you up on this one.
In spite of some of these inadequacies,
yeah,
implement. Even the ardent critic of that report agrees that there are some parts that should be implemented.
But anyway, in any case, has anyone been implemented?
That's my problem. Even the ones that have been implemented, we see a drama, Nollywood, home video. You arraign them before the court. The moment they are granted bail, that's the end of it. Today, one witness is not in court. Tomorrow, the prosecutor is not around. the Attorney General will say, I would take up the prosecution myself, and at the end of the day, he sends somebody, and in some cases, they enter Nole, and then in some, the matter just fizzles out.
There's a question here from Ikenna. He says, please look at the initial composition of the committee. It has NNPC, DPR, and FIRS as members. How does Oronsanye and OT affect the outcome?
That question was directed at you, not me.
No, but
because that's what I'm saying.
No, it's based on your submission.
You were the one that raised that issue that the Oronsanye and OT did not attend meetings, and so wouldn't have affected the outcome. And that's what I'm telling you. In spite of their non-attendance, the meeting formed a quorum, work assiduously day and night. The committee formed a quorum, work assiduously day and night to ensure that they came up with what we now know as the Ribadu report, Ribadu committee report. And so for OT and Oronsanye to, even from the question, you remember he was asking, I don't know if DPR is here, I don't know if the FIRS is here. These are people that should be verifying figures. It also shows that the man was never part of this whole thing. And if you were not part of it, also it raises some questions of your competence to even judge the report. Yeah, but if you were not part of the setting up, the working of the committee, and you lack the competence to query the outcome.
Well, attention is being paid to the comments made by those gentlemen. Maybe if can resend this question also, to understand it. The thing is, people actually think that because of those issues that were raised there, that Mr. Oronsanye and OT, they got facts saying if those companies listed, as you alluded to, were not verified, if the margin of error is about 10%, how does government go ahead if they are to prosecute on a weak case?
No. There are some figures, you agree with me, that there are some figures I could maintain 80% that had been verified. The ones that had not been verified, put those ones by the corner and carry out another verification. Or you can set up the government of committees, set up another committee to begin to verify. But the ones that had been verified, what do you do about those ones? Have we not established a strong case against those ones?
Well, it's a pity, as you rightly said, that we're talking about this because we still have to go back to all of this, to looking at Ribadu, knowing full well that, well, the deputy chairman, he's the chairman, and his deputy has not been attending, and he knows full well that, well, maybe something like this just may happen or might happen, and he never said anything about it.
No.
So,
like
in other words, they started an enterprise with an intention to bungle it at the end of the day.
No, like I said, you wouldn't have expected if we are all members of a committee, and because of my maybe misunderstanding with Chamberlain and his chairman as a co-chairman, I now raise objection that no, I have misunderstandings with Chamberlain, so I cannot work with him. How do you think, what will be the public perception of me? So you cannot work with people with contrary views.
So the government would have been able to reconstitute another committee at that point in time.
Also, let me.
How do you say it in law when you don't even like the face of some people and you say you won't even have fair judgment or fair hearing? That's where I'm coming.
Oronsanye was not the person in question here. Also, if you look at it from another point of view, why don't we think that Oronsanye and Bernard Oti were intentionally, appointed members of the committee to checkmate